Well, thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, and we have some more information for you about an FHA 100% financing. If you've come here to the channel through the shorts, you may have seen a couple of the short clips that we've done about this financing and the questions. Now I'm going to actually ask the questions to Jennifer and let her expand on each one of them. So this video is going to take us a little bit longer. So if you prefer the shorts, you can search those at the bottom as well. Or you can hang in there and skip through this video to the questions that might be of interest. We do encourage you to watch the entire video though, because there are a lot of nuggets in this video to help you buy your new home. So when you're ready, Jennifer, let's start with that first question. Are you ready?
I am ready. Like I said before, I'm at 100% here today.
Excellent. Well, that's what it's all about, is 100% financing for you. So the first question I have is, do I need any money for closing?
So the answer to that is yes. So there's 100% financing. That means that there's no down payment, but you do need closing costs. However, FHA allows for the seller to pay up to 6% towards closing costs. Average closing costs are somewhere between 3 and 4%. So if you have the 100% financing and then your seller paying your closing costs, you legitimately can come to closing with zero money. But Tamala, I want to ask you a question, because this is where people get a little bit surprised, I guess, by the home buying process. Are there things outside of closing that buyers sometimes need to pay for before they actually get to that closing table?
Absolutely. So there are several things that are happening right now in the industry. The National Association of Realtors has a settlement that's occurring, which I can't really expand on in this video, but we will have some other videos explaining that. So that could be something that could be outside of closing. There are also things like credit checks that I found in the industry that they might need to pay for from your end, but from my end, they're going to need to pay for their home inspection. Typically a home inspection, I suggest to everyone have a home inspection. As you've probably seen me note before, I am not your attorney, I am not your accountant, I am not your handyman, I am not your home inspector, and I am not your mortgage broker. That would be Jennifer doing that for you. She's taking care of that. But they do have some things outside of that. They're going to need to pay for their inspection. If they have a pool on the property, there'll be a pool inspection. If it's a septic, it'll be a septic inspection. So you do need to pay for all your inspections. You're going to have a period of time where we go through with your inspections first to make sure that the property is in the condition that you want to purchase in, or if there's negotiations with the seller to determine if those items need to be repaired, replaced, or if they could be credits given. So yes, that is one thing that I would say. Also, let's talk about survey.
So survey is actually included with closing costs. People don't pay those outside of. But the other thing that I'm thinking of that buyers need to give kind of up front is their deposit money, their good faith money. So they will need something for that. Can you explain what the deposit money is, that good faith money, Tamala?
Absolutely. So that's a great one. Escrow deposit. So sometimes it's called escrow money deposit. Sometimes it's called escrow deposit. And the way that the contract states is that something for good faith has to be given. And typically that's 8% of the purchase. Now, what I find a lot here over the last, probably 10 years, is that we went away from 20% down, which some people still think. We went from 10% down into your escrow deposit. And now we're somewhere around, hovering for most properties, not across the board, but for most properties, somewhere around $5,000. Now, if they're a first-time home buyer, depending on the price point, that might change the amount of money that comes into escrow. But you do want to be prepared typically for a minimum of $5,000. I do see some people still require about $10,000 in escrow. It depends on how you're buying the property, and those are terms that can be negotiated as well. And that's typically due within 3 days after you've signed your contract. So you have about 3 days to get that in.
Correct. And I've even seen, depending on what area of the United States you're in, I've even seen as little down as $1,000. But I would definitely say if you're in the Florida market, you should be prepared for $3,000 to $5,000. just because the buyer wants to be confident, right, that you're really going to follow through.
Yeah, it's a good faith. We're doing that out of good faith to say, yes, we want to buy the property. So I think that's a great sign.
And then what will happen with that money is when you close, if you do the 100% financing, and if the seller agrees to give you, the closing costs back, then the money that you've placed in good faith will actually come back to you in the form of a check.
And the maximum that a seller can contribute to a buyer for closing costs?
Yes, with an FHA loan, that is 6%.
So 6% of the actual sales price of the property is the maximum that a seller can give you in concessions. If all of that is foreign and you are watching this video, definitely leave a comment below or reach out. That can be explained to you a lot further, and things are ever changing. So it's important to reach out to us.
Exactly. So what's next? What's our next thing, Tamala?
The next one, Jennifer, what does my income need to be?
Well, so the good part about this program, like I said in the short, lots of down payment assistance programs have some sort of income cap. And there's lots of people that make over the 80% of the average median income, but still struggle to save money. Let's face it, if you've got a young family, or you're a single mama, or you're just starting out in life, like, it's hard to save money right now. And so with no income cap, that means that you could be making $130,000 and still qualify for this program. You could be making $150,000. I really think that this program will probably help a lot of newly divorced people who maybe didn't get like a big settlement out of the house that they were in their marriage, and so they're needing help then purchasing the next home. So this allows them the 0% down, and there's no weird income caps or income minimum qualifications either, but you do have to qualify for a mortgage.
Yes, and I think that's one of the big subjects. So if you want to know what you qualify for, this is that great opportunity to check the information below this video. We'll flash it up on the screen as well so that you can reach out. Definitely give us a call. Let us know. I'll connect you with Jennifer. She's going to handle all of the mortgage side. I'll handle all of that dream home buying to help you out in finding your new dream home. Or if you've already purchased, we might have another answer for you. So hold on. We've got another question.
There's another question? Okay, I can do it. I'm feeling 100% today.
100%. All right, so that takes us to that next question. And I said, well, what if you've had a home before? So the question is, do I need to be a first-time home buyer?
Wow. No, ma'am, you do not. You don't need to be a first-time home buyer, which is a beautiful thing, because like I said earlier, if you're getting divorced or there's some sort of life change where you just don't have, extra cash in order to, buy the next house, or you don't have a lot of equity. Some people have taken out equity loans. I just spoke to somebody this morning who she purchased her house 3 years ago. She had made great, she had done a bunch of improvements in the house. She had gained a ton of equity, but she took out a loan against that equity, used that money to pay down debt. And so now when she goes to sell the house because she's needing to move to another area for her job, she really has very little money left to put towards that next house, because all of the equity in her house, that house savings account, all of that went to pay off all of her credit card debt in her car, which wasn't a bad thing, but now it leaves her with no money, or very little money then, to go on to the next residence.
That makes sense. There's a lot of people sitting with a lot of equity right now. We're starting to see a lot of people that are deciding to do some changes on their house, maybe stay in place, or ready to move, and they've got that equity that'll help them as well. But if you're not in that position, then this 100% financing might be the option for you. You have 0% down. I think your down payment is 0%. So let's go on to that next question. I think that was a great answer. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.